This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1 playing Abathur, we have Doomgazer. And player 2 playing Phoenix, we have AOM Master. So while the game gets started, we'll have a look at the masteries over here. Abathur has no points into Toxic Nests, 30 points into Mend Healing, 30 points into Symbiote Mastery, 0 points into the Double Biomass Chance Mastery. And an even split, 15-15, into the Toxic Nest charges and the Morph Evolution and Morph Evolution Rate Mastery. Phoenix, we have 30 points into Phoenix's attack speed, none into his energy regeneration. We have 30 points into the AI attack speed mastery, none into the AI vitality, which is the armor and shields. And we have 25 points into the chrono boost and 5 points into the starting supply. So taking a look at the production here, Phoenix is going for a robo build. We can see that he's building a robo over here, which means he's going to get the Immortal and then get the Taldaran AI, and that'll be the opener that he'll be using to clear his expansion. Abathur has just put down 2 evolution chambers, which is interesting because there is no tech structure yet, but he seems to have queued up a drone over here, and he puts down a Roach Warren, which means he's going for a Roach composition with both attack and armor upgrades. Having a look here, Phoenix has already started to produce his Immortal, and he's researching the AI as well, and this is due to the 2 gases that he has already saturated on his main. Abathur is not focused on getting his expansion just yet, which is usually a little bit slower than expected, but we'll see what Abathur's plan is here. He is starting to build up a number of Toxic Nests, which he has not put down, and the attack wave is going to hit right now, and it's usually recommended to put down the Toxic Nests here to deal with the attack wave. Immortal comes out, and there goes Taldaran, and he's going to start clearing the gas, the main rock, the expansion rocks over here. Attack wave is on the way. Taldaran turns around to try and deal with the attack wave that's coming up here, and we have a first attack wave of Vikings. Taldaran has no problem dealing with this attack wave, so he cleans it up, makes his way back towards that expansion. In the meanwhile, Abathur has still not captured his expansion over here, and he has started to research his Roach upgrades and his attack and armor upgrades to level 1. Phoenix is putting down a number of structures. He's put down a Fleet Beacon, a Stargate, and a Cybernetics core, and he's cancelled the gateway over here. He's going to put the gateway a little bit further away. He's put down a Twilight Cancel as well. And this implies that Phoenix is going to be going for a Talus plus Carrier opening. The bot has been launched and already gets aggroed by some of the units that are guarding this first harvesting area. Phoenix comes down and clears up the defenders with relative ease. First harass wave on the way, coming in, targeting this harvesting bot over here, and Doomgazer has saturated his Toxic Nest charges. AOM Master provides some advice. Did you know when you kill stuff with a Toxic Nest you get more biomass? Doomgazer considers the situation, considers that statement, and starts to put down his Toxic Nests over here, which is somewhat unfortunate because he is dealing with an air composition. He has a bunch of roaches that he has also made to deal with this air composition. He starts to lure the landed Vikings into the Toxic Nests and then continues to aggro them over here, and that cleans up the second harass wave. Harvesting bot is done collecting the Terrazine and makes its way back, and Abathur continues on his way. Phoenix is putting down a few more pylons over here to provide some energy for the next bunch of structures that he'll be building and to unsupply block him. Here, Abathur has gotten his Brutalisk out now, and a Brutalisk provides a significant power spike to Abathur, so having that up will provide him with the ability to deal with the air units, and it's a fairly tanky unit as well. Abathur decides to put down some more roaches. Phoenix is producing a carrier and an adept, so out comes Talus, and Brutalis can attack air units. All Adepts in co-op can attack air units, so that is fine. Phoenix has taken his expansion. No probes on the gases just yet, but those will be going up soon. And the next set of markers comes up for the Terrazine geysers. Bots are preparing to launch. Production-wise, Phoenix is focusing on the carrier, and Abathur is focusing on his ground attack and armor upgrades, as well as making 6 more roaches. So Abathur has a bunch of toxic nests over here, and these harvesting bots are now making their way towards the second set of Terrazine geysers. Phoenix has his Solarite Dragoon suit, a Taldaran and Talus to deal with the attack waves, and Abathur has his Brutalisk and a bunch of roaches to deal with the air comp that is coming their way. Vikings land, they get destroyed by the roaches, and the first attack wave is handled relatively well here by both the players. And now we have Phoenix and Taldaran against the air comp, which is not particularly useful, but Doomgazer jumps in right there and he is ready to deal with this. Klarian is now out and joins the battle, but Doomgazer decides he has a very good composition to deal with this enemy attack wave. AOM Master provides some more advice. He says this is SkyTerran, you want Mutalisks and Devourers. But Doomgazer has gazed into the eyes of Doom and laughed. And he says, no, you know what, my roaches are good enough to deal with these banshees. My roaches are awesome, and I do not need anything else except roaches to deal with the Vikings and banshees. The harass waves are done now, and the harvesting bots are making their way back towards the spawning location over here for Stetman's lab. And we're gonna have a look at the production now in this downtime. We have level 3 ground attack and armor upgrades, and Phoenix is getting a whole slew of upgrades for the rest of his AI champions. And next attack wave is coming up. This one is significantly scarier than the harass waves, and they are making their way towards Phoenix's expansion. So Phoenix goes into Cyber's Arbiter suit, recalls his army, and he is ready. But Doomgazer is ready to intercept this attack wave and charges straight into this attack wave, and take some damage due to the Seeker missiles from the Ravens that are guarding that location. But out comes his second Brutalisk. That siege tank is still there and dealing a lot of damage. Raven drops another Seeker missile on the Brutalisk. Brutalisk combines up with the rest of his units, so they all take the splash damage together, and they are pushed back. That siege tank still manages to survive, which is kind of surprising. Doomgazer casts Mend, he is ready, and now the bonus objective is up. Doomgazer considers the situation and decides he supports Beta, and he's not gonna let Amon just he's not gonna let Amon just suck that whale dry. So he's gonna go and he's gonna free the whale that's stuck over here, where they are extracting Terrazine from this thing. In the meanwhile, Phoenix is kind of left alone over here, and he has to clear this area up because these harvesting bots will get destroyed by the attack waves and the defenders over there. So Phoenix decides to start pushing. Siege tank over there. Raven casts a Seeker missile on one of the Adepts. Adepts get split, and there goes that Seeker missile, killing off that Adept, but his army does not take damage. Next area is over here. There is a siege tank. A Raven casts a Seeker missile onto a Locust, and the Locust just dies. Phoenix has to turn around and deal with the attack wave that's coming up over here. Doomgazer is getting full Beta support here and has cleared that Terrazine extraction device. Phoenix over here has to defend this harvesting bot, and since Doomgazer is making his way towards the attack wave, Phoenix decides to clear over here. The Banshees now have their cloaking ability, but that is no match for Doomgazer's gaze, for he has Overseers ready, and Phoenix just goes over here and solos this entire harass wave while his army clears the harvesting bot defenses. There is another attack wave coming up on this side now, and it is a harass wave that's going for the bot, and Phoenix is able to deal with this relatively easily. He's in position, and they really pose no match for the army at the moment. Another harass wave coming up on this side. Again, Banshees and Marines, and the Brutalisks are ready to deal the damage, and the Marines just get wiped by the roaches and the splash damage that the Brutalisks have. Phoenix is focusing on his base over here, and an attack wave or a harass wave comes up over here, and he's not really paying attention, and they are making a beeline for the harvesting bot. And Phoenix realizes what's going on and drops his Praetor armor, but it is not enough, and the harvesting bot goes down due to the damage from the Banshees and the hybrids. Hybrids get melted by the Warbringer and the Taldaran AI personalities, and there is a little bit of downtime. Taking a look at the biomass that we have over here, we have 1,400 total biomass dropped and 1,000 biomass that has been picked up by Doomgazer. Doomgazer decides to push in and soak up a lot of the seeker missiles that are being dropped onto his army, and he manages to clear up the small camp over here. He sees the attack wave that's coming up. This is an actual attack wave, which means it's significantly larger and scarier. There are a whole load of Liberators, Vikings, and 2 hybrid Dominators, and some regular hybrids as well in the mix. His army takes a lot of damage from Seeker missiles, but he is deciding to trudge along, and then decides to retreat. He realizes his army is no match for the air units just yet, but casts a mend, and then he's ready to go again into the fray, eating a lot of damage from those Liberators and a lot of damage from the Banshees and the Dominators. Taking a look at the units lost, he has lost a total of 20 roaches over here. Phoenix goes around and starts clearing the path ahead of the next wave of harvesting bots. Seeker Missile onto the Interdictor, Interdictor goes down. Seeker Missile onto the Locust, which happens to have just died through the Banshees over there. And this whole area is cleared and ready. 2 Banshees just sneaking in from the attack wave because Doomgazer decided to let those survive because he is a merciful god over here. And they make their way towards the expansion, but Doomgazer has not taken this expansion, so they decide to change course and harass his main. And they start killing his drones over here. Doomgazer sees this and decides to move his army on foot all the way back to his main to clear these 2 Banshees that are just completely wrecking the probes, or the drones over here. Phoenix is over here just chilling, relaxing, enjoying the view. There's a lot of nice shiny Vespene geysers and Terrazine geysers over here, so this is all good. Taking a look at the player production, we just have a bunch of interdictors being made for Phoenix, and now he decides to warp in some Adepts, and starts getting into the rest of his upgrades for Caldalis. Doomgazer decides to take up a position over here to defend this wave of harvesting bots, and we have another carrier joining the fight. Taking a look at the unit-wise, they seem to be doing okay. And there are a whole bunch of Liberators and Banshees in this attack wave, but Doomgazer is not phased. He is ready, and he pushes through, and he just lets his units tank the Liberator siege mode and the Vikings over here. Next wave of harass is coming up from the middle over here, and it is going to be targeting this Vespene harvester over here. And again, this is no match for Phoenix's army. Puts down Conservative Field, and that one reduces the amount of damage his army takes. The next wave of harass comes up, and there are a bunch of Liberators, Banshees, and Marines in this mix. Again, the Banshees do have Cloak, but Phoenix has Detection. Another second wave comes up over here, and Doomgazer is ready with his army of roaches to deal damage. Unfortunately, the roach anti-air damage for Abathur is relatively low, so it's going to take him a while to clear, but he's got this. Caldalis taking a few Seeker missiles, but because he was split off from the rest of the army does not take damage. This one is a full harass wave again with Banshees and Vikings, but they get destroyed due to Mojo's anti-air attack, which causes them to disable the enemy units and prevent them from using skills. Doomgazer decides he supports Beta fully and wants to push into this next bonus objective, while there's an attack wave over here that is coming up, and this is a full-fledged attack wave now, so it's a little bit scarier, but again, it's no match for Phoenix's army, who has a sufficient enough count to deal with it. Meanwhile, Doomgazer over here decides to just push into the Hybrid Dominator with a bunch of battle cruisers, Liberator, and a Viking. But again, he's unfazed. He decides to just trudge through, soak up all the damage, and then take out the Terrazine extraction device over here. That is that bonus objective done. Phoenix does a round of weapons of Adepts, and let's have a look at the production. We have Phoenix now starting to research the armor and shield upgrades after he has gotten his level 3 attack, air, and the ground upgrades. Phoenix takes a Seeker Missile, splits, and manages to dodge that. Another Seeker Missile on Kaldalis, but Kaldalis, the split is not as good. Kaldalis kind of clumps up with the army, and a bunch of scouts take damage over here. Whatever is left is cleared, and this is the minimum clear required for this mission. Once you have these areas cleared, the Vespene harvesting bots can essentially harvest the Vespene as long as you're defending them against the attack wave. And due to this downtime, the bots have just entered the research facility. Phoenix decides it's time to start pushing and clear the enemy base. So he drops down a protective field, and with battle cruisers being focus fired down by Mojo, they cannot actually deal damage. Doomgazer decides he wants in on the fun, and decides to tag along and help his ally clear this expansion. And combined with the might of 1,000 roaches, nothing in the Terran army can fend off this onslaught of acid-spewing monsters. The next wave of Terrazine geysers have been marked on the map, and the bots will be departing to collect this, but this base is completely wiped from the map. There is one last enemy base, and this is the base to the top right. Over here, there's a command center, and there are a few production structures, and it's very important to clear those if you want to do an all clear of the map, otherwise the enemy will rebuild, as can be seen over here. There's a fusion core that is being constructed by a probe. Aim Master marks the fusion core for targeting, but Doomgazer decides to not care about that. He decides to have mercy on that, while he goes ahead and clears that building over here. The SCV does die, and the fusion core manages to survive, but there is now a harass wave on the map, and they are making their way towards the wave of harvesting bots. Doomgazer out of position again, because he's been busy clearing that expansion over there, but Phoenix is on it, and he has that. Doomgazer has still not made his way across the map, so Phoenix uses his army to defend against this wave of harvesting bot. Roach decides it wants to get showered by some Liberator shots, and just gets completely obliterated over there, but you know, at least it got what it wanted. And there is another wave of harass over here, and Phoenix has a position that he can take up over here to clear up this attack wave. Another harass wave from the same spawn point. Again, Phoenix in position and uses Mojo's focus fire to disable the air units over here. Now a harass wave on this side of the map, and Doomgazer decides he wants in on the fun, but because the unit is an air composition, it flies over this unpathable terrain over here, and it starts sieging up the bot over here, and the bot starts taking a lot of damage. Luckily enough, Phoenix is in position over here, and because it's a player army over here, the Liberators will start focus firing the player units rather than the harvesting bot, and Doomgazer manages to have lost his Overseer, so his units are getting wailed down by the Banshee. Another attack wave over here. This attack wave also gets deleted by Phoenix, and Doomgazer is not really sure what to do over here because he is taking a lot of damage from these Banshees. Another attack wave over here, another harass wave. Doomgazer decides, you know what, he's just gonna stare at it, do nothing, and let the bot take some damage, and it does take a lot of damage. Bot is in the red. Phoenix jumps in and starts clearing up the harass wave over there. Huge Seeker Missile hit into the middle of the army. Phoenix's army takes a lot of damage over there. No splits on that scout, which was targeted by the Seeker missile. Phoenix warps in over here, recalls his army, and starts to deal with this harass wave here. Now we have an attack wave on the way, and this is a full-fledged attack wave, one of the most powerful attack waves in any co-op mission. And there are a lot of battlecruisers, a lot of banshees, liberators, seeker missiles, hybrid dominators. Phoenix gets completely destroyed by the attack wave over there, but Phoenix's air army is strong enough to deal with the rest of these units. Doomgazer decides he's going to deal with the harass wave over there, clumps up his army so the Seeker missile can hit everything it can, and maximizes the value out of that Raven. A ton of Banshees, maybe about like 5 or 6 Banshees, are just wailing on his army, and he has no detection over here. So Doomgazer decides to run to his ally and have his ally deal with the attack wave over there. And Phoenix turns around, clears up the attack wave, and that is that. So we'll have a look at the units lost. Total units lost here are 4 Brutalisks and 29 Roaches, and Phoenix has lost a few of the air units, particularly scouts, but a couple of carriers as well, due to the very strong enemy composition that they were up against. And that is GG.